Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I'm back for another Inspired by Pinterest. This is the post that I have chosen to, I don't know, I guess I'm just inspired by it. So I'll be making something similar, but not trying to copy it, in any way, just inspired by the pieces that are in it. It's by Nadia Stumpf. And you can see there's lace and there's some kind of old form in the back and some old film strip there. And just this image with the tree. I didn't have anything really like that, especially that's kind of see-through because you can see the film strip going through there. So I'm going to use a piece of Tim Holtz tissue paper, but lace and then the old photograph. And that. So anyways, that's kind of what we're doing today. First, I wanted to show you, I have some new digitals in the shop. You feel free to fast forward if you don't want to see these, but this one is called More Old Stuff because I've already done the old stuff digital, and this one is kind of different colorways and all that. So it's quite a bit different than the other one. So there are collage pages as I normally do. A lot of these pieces were from Karen, so thank you so much, Karen, for, the cool typewritten pages and things like that. That really helped. And they are grungy, and there's a filter over it, so it, with spots and stuff on it in places that maybe there weren't in the originals. So it looks old and grungy. And for some reason, it's reading very yellow. I don't know why. But anyway, it's when you print it, it's not as yellow as that. So yeah, there's some pinks and greens. There's reds and greens and all that. Yeah, this one really printed yellow. I think my printer is doing crazy things. So I put some new ink in it and reset it. So hopefully the next go around it will be better. But this is like all old postcards that I just collaged onto a page. And this is like old wallpaper collage. And here's some old photographs. And like I said, some of these I had, some of them were from Karen. So it just depends. These, the old postcards in different sizes so that you could use them however you want. And just the two ladies in fussy cut and these old photos. And then this is just all old paper and envelopes and whatever. This was actually from Carol Laws, the ledger down there, a little piece of it. And some of it's from Catherine Helm, this here. So thank you, Catherine. So it's kind of just a hodgepodge of all the old things, right? A few pieces of like Victorian scrap and postcards and whatever, whatever else. There's those postcards. I did do a few backs. They don't line up perfectly, but you could trim off whatever, hangs over, that kind of thing. And this one with the old library cards, whatever those things are called. And more old pieces. These ones are from Karen. And these cool old envelopes. And it's kind of hard to see, but there is a window, so you could cut out the little windows if you wanted to, to do something else with them. Or just use them like that as a pocket and decorate them or whatever. So that's the more old stuff. And then I did a vintage lace by request. I've had a few people ask me if I could do just the lace from the Valentine kit. And I didn't want to do the exact same ones because I thought some people might want to use this kind of like an add-on for the Valentine kit. So I did do very similar but different pieces. So there's that one. And I have some buttons, couple pages of buttons. And this is doilies with buttons. So yeah, just all kinds of lace bits and pieces. And then more buttons, creamy colored buttons. This is mostly crochet, but there's lace there. I just called it vintage lace because that, it's so hard to come up with names for everything after a while. This one has the old scissors. And then these strips of old lace. And one of you is asking if you could buy lace from me. I don't have a lot of old lace. I have some snippets, and then I computer generate a lot of it. So like I'll use pieces, scan pieces, and use them to help me generate other pieces and that. So I don't have like a whole bunch of lace. This is just generated by my, on my computer. And then I did another one because then I went down the rabbit hole of lace, and I did, this is more of a grungy. I think I called this, that one's called vintage lace. Sorry. That one is vintage lace. This is old lace because it's all ratty and tatty and like stained all over and stuff. So this one is old lace. The other one is vintage lace. I know it's confusing. I just didn't know what to name everything to keep it straight, but yeah, these are really pretty. Yeah, and once you start generating on the computer, you can tell it different things that you want, and it'll, go further with that whole idea. And some of them are similar, but they're not exactly the same. Oops, knocked my glue over. There's 12 pages in each of the lace kits. There's 23 pages in the old stuff, more old stuff. So yeah, that is it. So I won't bug you anymore with that. I just wanted people to see if they wanted to see all the pages, because I could show all the lace on Etsy, but I can't. There's not enough spots for all the pages of the other one. So that is why I did that. All right, so we're going to take this piece. This is out of the old stuff, and I want to put it on a piece that you can see. This was a cereal box. I'm going to put it on a piece of here to make it feel a little bit more like what do you call it? Oh my gosh, you guys, my brain does not work anymore. Cabinet card. Wow. But the cereal box isn't so thick. They're pretty thin. It's not like a big thick piece of chipboard. And I just peeled off the label, as you can see. You could leave it on. Doesn't really matter. I just didn't want to have any of it showing anywhere, front or back. If you hear tools going, my husband's working on the windows downstairs. They needed a little assistance after 20 years. So this will give it that nice feel of kind of like a cabinet card, but not be too thick. I use cereal boxes for all kinds of stuff. I mean, if you've gotten an order from me, like my the laser die cuts and things, a lot of times I back them, with those. I do all kinds of stuff with cereal boxes. They're very handy. Just so that hopefully they don't get bent in shipping. Quite often I put them in those rigid mailers, but sometimes if it's just one something, I will put it in a paper mailer and put that on the back. Okay, so that'll give that a little more thickness. And we're gonna beat it up a little bit so it looks a little more realistic. They always seem to get their corners kind of dog-eared or whatever you want to call it. Could also probably sand along there. What did I do with my little sander? Oh, it's right here next to me. Is that coming out? It did come out. And my husband made me that, so you can't get those anywhere that I know of anyway. They have things like that at the hardware store, though, that hold the sandpaper. Okay, that makes it look a little bit more authentic. That's the word, authentic. Okay, then we're gonna take a nice big piece of this old cool ledger and put it on here. Which side do I want? I guess it doesn't matter, they're pretty similar. And I did gesso this page, you can see, with black and white gesso. I think I'm gonna put it about there. I do want to rat it up a little bit. I don't want to tear this one, all of it, because it is already a little bit ratty. We're just going to accentuate that, and it's just falling apart. So how are you guys? I didn't even ask that. Just jumped right in. Rude. I need to say hugs and blessings. Hugs and blessings to Ellie, Pam, Monica, Nita, and Annette. Thank you guys so much for your kind comments. Thank you for watching. And please pop over and check out Pam. She is Nana's Crafting Cottage on YouTube. And it's all one thing. Nana's with an S. Crafting Cottage. She's making one of these paper bag journals. And I did mention her before, and I'll try to remember to put the link in the description. I did put it in a couple of the videos last week. I just can't remember if I put it in the right one. I'm telling you, that's the only thing when you film ahead, you get confused at which days are what, you know, what days you said what. And sometimes people will comment about something. I have no idea what they're talking about because I can't remember what I talked about. Oh my gosh, it's hard. But I like to film ahead because then, you know, I have time to do things that I want to do or need to do or whatever. Like today I got to cut stuff on the laser printer. So it's always nice. I was going to do this yesterday, but I just didn't get a chance. Yesterday we went to dinner with the kids. Went to sushi for Aiden's birthday. That was fun. Today's her birthday, but that's always fun to go eat with them. Hang out, chit chat. Try to do it regularly. Sometimes it doesn't want to stick at first to the gesso, but if you get it on there, it usually will. I mean, you can always add more glue, which I do sometimes, but the gesso's for prepping a surface so that things will stick like paint and glue and all that, but you know, sometimes it doesn't want to do it right off the bat. And it's all bumpy and lumpy under there because it's just a paper bag. So you gotta mess with it a little. It's not peeling up at all. So what kind of things are you guys making? I know a few people are making these, which is awesome. I think that's so fun to have you guys do that too. Okay. Down here too. It just wants to lift on the edges. I think I just am not good at hitting the edges very well, too. All right, sorry, I'm getting spammed with... That's why I don't like group texts. They're gonna drive me nuts. Okay, so this is an old film strip, because I have been asked to do stuff with old film strips, so I'm trying whenever I see something that, you know, could be fun to do that, because I have them too, and yeah, let's, you know, use them up. So, and then we have an old piece of lace, and I have, this is the piece of tissue paper, because it does, okay, I even cleaned off my desk, but I have a pile of paper, and I keep going through and you know, messing it up so that everything's not in the same spot as it was when you originally put it down. I've taken an old button and just strung some. I only had black and gray. I didn't have all black embroidery floss, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. That's like, you know, the least of our worries. But I'm just gonna, I don't really know exactly how they did it, but I'm just gonna kind of go around and then we'll affix it somehow. I just like that look. It looks neat with the embroidery floss on it. I do want some of the black showing though. Okay. I didn't know how much I needed, so I did it like, pulled it too far. So we're gonna try that. You know, now it's gonna be almost too short, huh? I could glue it. Undo it one just so that we at least get some pieces hanging down, and then I think I'm going to put the glue back there. Put down here a little more. I don't want it blocking her, so. And this probably isn't a perfect science, but I think if it's glued, it'll stay. Nobody's going to be like yanking on it or anything. As I think it was Camilla Crafts, she always says they're not going to be baboons ripping at our pages, but we, you know, you just get it in your head. You got to affix it so much, you know. Oh, and another question that I get a ton is this stuff acid free? And it is not, because we're just using, when we junk journal, I don't think our big concern is acid free. I feel like, you know, this stuff is going to age, and you can definitely use as much acid free stuff as you can. But, and I also get asked a ton about glue sticks and glue and all that. And yes, we want things to stick as well as possible, but none of this stuff, it's all made of paper, is going to last forever. It just isn't. And I know it would be awesome if it did, but it's not going to. So I think you just have to decide what you want. Do you want this kind of look, or do you want to have the acid-free thing? And so that's just a choice that we each have to decide. I've just come to accept that none of my art is going to be around forever, but there probably aren't going to be people that care forever about it. So I don't know. I think you just have to just decide what part is more important. And to me, at this stage in my life, I just want to make art and enjoy it and not stress about is it acid free? Now, if you're making a scrapbook of your children or your family, or like a wedding scrapbook or something that's very, you know, you could pass down and would want to pass down, then I totally understand the acid free thing. But I just feel like when you're making art and wanting to have the joy of the art, I don't know. It's not that important to me, but that's my opinion. That doesn't mean that's what everybody else has to think about it. See, you're not going to see a whole lot of those trees, really. I do want it to go over that, though, for sure. I kind of feel like it's going to need a little something else. So, but yeah, again, that's just my take. You know, you got to do your thing and what works for you. I love this onion skin paper, by the way. Karen, thank you. Again, I really love it. And I'll use these little bits for who knows what, but I think I want to crinkle this one. Just kind of want a little something else, I think, than that, just that. So yeah, that's just my stand on it. But I do get asked a lot. And glue sticks are not perfect to write. I mean, but for most things, when you're sticking paper to paper, I think it's going to work for the most part. And you can always fix a corner or whatever. But yeah, none of it's going to last forever. I mean, look at these ledger books and things that are just disintegrating. It just doesn't last forever. But I figure in 20 years or whatever, nobody's going to care about what I made or whatever anyway. So, I don't know. You know, because we move on. We do other things and more things become available. And I don't know. I just don't. Just not going to stress about it. Kind of want to see that there. This paper's fun too because you can like wrinkle it and stuff because it's so, and you can still see through it. Basically, just do what makes you happy while you're here in this crazy life that we all are part of. Because it's crazy. Yeah, I already like that better. Okay, so we're going to put the piece of lace down, and I'm going to use glue stick on that. And I'll probably put a few dots of the liquid glue too, but I don't want to see the glue necessarily, so glue stick's kind of my best option. You could use, if you have some kind of double stick tape, I assume. I don't know. Fabri-Tac is always good. I don't know. What else would work? You could stitch it to something else and then glue that down if it would work better. Sometimes the stitching thing doesn't work, like on this. For me, it's not going to work very well. But I guess you just got to find your groove and what works for you. Just trying to give these old pieces a second life so they don't end up in the garbage. And this I'm going to use glue stick on. I think I will do just like a tiny bit along here. I probably will regret that because you'll probably be able to see it a little bit. I think this is from Karen too, these wider film strips. I have that little tiny roll. Probably gonna have to go on that and use some rubbing alcohol. That really like stuck seriously on there. I didn't think it would, but it did. That worked. That worked nicely. Put that right on there. I like that roll of Tim Holtz tissue paper, and I can't remember what it's called, but it has all kinds of old vintage photos on it. Some are like houses or land like this, or there's ones of people, and then there's the little like stamped type numbers, and I don't know. It's a cool one of his tissue paper. I don't know if he still sells it or not. Oh, someone else asked me where I get Tim Holtz stuff. I usually have to order mine because all I have in my area that carries it at all really is Hobby Lobby. So, and they carry such a small amount of stuff. I always just go online. I either get it on Amazon or I can't remember what that other place is called. Stamp something. I can't remember. But anyway, I order it. I mean, that's really the only way you can find all the stuff because it just, nobody carries it. I don't know. I don't know why. I didn't know. I think there's a few people on Etsy that sold it before they made the new rules. And so they're kind of like grandfathered in and can still sell it. At least that's my understanding. I could be totally wrong. This I am using the liquid glue so that it sticks well with that string and the cardboard and everything. And that's just PVA glue. There. Yeah, all of our locks on our windows were getting jammed. They just needed like greased and fixed, and some of them, my husband said they must have hung the windows wrong the first time, like drilled the holes in the wrong spots. I don't know. Anyway, so he's trying to fix all that. It's always something, I'm telling you. It's never ending. Okay, and then I have this little piece, and there wasn't anything like that, but I want to put it, it's a piece of book, you know, the top little stitching part of the book spine. I think I'm going to put that right on there. I am going to use liquid glue for that too. Add some other little bits that I like to make it my thing. And I really like that ink that I got, that acrylic ink. I keep saying a lot. I apologize. I'm probably driving you guys crazy. I don't know why that happens some days. It's the there it is. Gotta hold all the stuff down for a minute here. It's wanting to take off on me. Where the lace is. That's sticking nicely. So yeah, the Payne's Gray acrylic, I want to call it alcohol ink, but it's acrylic ink. And I just like the way it spreads when you spritz a little water on it. I like to just put like a dot. You don't need much, that is for sure. It is very, it goes a long way. But I like how it gives you that ink spot look. And I'm going to use my little stamp. Well, it's not a stamp, it's a spritzer jar or bottle, but on the bottom it's got that cool circle that I like. Okay, I like that. And then we might go ahead and put a little bit of gesso. Yeah, we're gonna have to get new flooring too, so we're talking about that. So that might happen this summer, which isn't great for what I do for work, but I don't know, we're gonna have to do it. All right, I think I'm good on that. We're gonna play around with something else. Oh, I might want to put a piece of this on if I want to, anywhere. Maybe I'll try one of these with the Payne's Gray on it. Looks kind of blue. Something different, right? Probably should put some more glue on it. I don't know. I probably should have done that with that one, but I think it'll be all right. Okay. And that, again, is just regular Scotch tape that I put the acrylic ink on, the Payne's Gray. All right, so this is the original. See how yellow that printed too? I don't know what's going on with my printer. This one's mine. So yeah, I like these collage pages in this That one doesn't have any pockets, but there's a lot of pockets and things on this other side, so I think it's fine to just have the collage on that page. And then I'll show you what else I was playing around with. And we might do more with. I just got these at True Value. And, you know, we've all seen them. They're just the little stencils for, you know, doing like whatever kind of signs, signs for out on your street or whatever, yard sale. This is you can use a Stabilo All, because I've done it with a Stabilo All, but I want to try it with this. A fountain pen that has the ink that moves around with when you get water on it. It doesn't stay. It's not permanent. That's the word. There's something about trying to do this and talk. It just doesn't always work. I really am not that dingy. I'm pretty dingy, but not that bad. It's the combo. It's like walking and chewing gum or whatever the old saying was. And then just take a little paintbrush. And like I said, you can use the Stabilo All pencil or any kind of pen, pencil, whatever that reacts with water. You can do this with paint too. It would be cool. I just like this because it's see-through. You can still see all the words. And I like the kind of ombre effect, or, you know, it's darker along the edge and then gets lighter. Just fun to play with. I was just playing with this the other day. We ran into True Value to grab a couple things, and I was like, those would be fun to play with. This bigger size I like. I have some little tiny, or I guess they're not tiny, but little ones. I have some other ideas I might do this week with these, so let me know if you're interested in seeing that. They're just kind of fun to play around with. But again, you could totally do, you know, paint them in or use watercolor, whatever you want. This is the gold, deep gold. I got it, you can see, Hobby Lobby, Amsterdam ink. Like I said, for what we use these for, you do not need much at all. I'm going to get it on my shirt, and then I'm going to be mad at myself. I kind of like the idea of adding a little bit more of this here and there. Where there's a puddle or two. Gonna do it. I'm gonna stick my arm right in it. Yeah, I think you could play with these all kinds of ways. Yeah, same. That acrylic ink, I really like it a lot. I need to get myself some more colors. That Payne's Gray is fantastic. Gold's good too, but I really like that Payne's Gray. And then you could use these in collage, or, you know, as a little decorative, just tear it out and use it as a decorative piece somewhere in a journal. I think they're pretty cool. I was going to show you guys. And not related to this, because I haven't used one of those yet. But I did do in here, somewhere, a little collage. And these are in my shop, the laser die cuts, but just a little collage there. And I used some of that ink, and it went through to the side, and this paper got all like crinkly and cool. And I think you guys saw this. I made this pocket a while back, but I just added a little tag to go in there. I haven't done a whole lot else, but yeah. So anyways, that's what I'm up to. But these are very fun. So I think I'm going to do another video playing around with that because I have some ideas. All right, guys, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and we will chat again soon. Love ya.